What's up, guys? Mike from Rockville, and today we are at Rockville University talking about podcasting. I'm here with my good friend Daro. Daro, how's it going?
Great, thanks for having me.
Awesome, always a pleasure. Now, podcasting is really cool because it's kind of an industry that's exploded in the last 5 to 10 years. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the equipment, whether you're on a small scale in an amateur level, recording out of a bedroom, or you're on a professional scale, recording out of a studio, the equipment is the same in both scenarios. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the equipment that you use while podcasting and what kind of equipment that you need in your podcasting setup. So Daro, why don't you run us off with this?
Yeah, of course. So when it comes to podcasting, the basics really come to mind. You're going to need a microphone, an audio interface, a computer, and a way to hear back what you've recorded. So, a pair of headphones or speakers. Now, when you dive deeper into each one of those categories, you have different options. When it comes to microphones, you have dynamic microphones, which is something that looks like this. They do not require any outside power. They are very durable. They can be handled. They're not as clear or concise as condenser microphones, which is what we have right here. This is a condenser microphone, and if you're in a studio that can be generally quiet, that doesn't have a lot of HVAC running, dogs barking outside or trucks driving by, because it will pick that up. They're very, very sensitive. Dynamic microphones are something that you should use, I think, in a less controlled environment. If you're walking around outside or if you're in a noisy area, dynamic microphones will pick up less of all that extra noise. Plus, they're a little bit more durable too, so you can kind of drop them by accident if you want to. Yeah. A condenser microphone should be powered by phantom power coming from usually an audio interface, which is something that we have right here. This is a Focusrite Scarlett 2i, and it provides phantom power to both of the inputs. Here is a Blue Yeti Studio, and this is technically a condenser microphone, but if you look underneath of it, there's a USB point where you can plug in a USB cable to plug into your computer, meaning that you don't actually need an audio interface. This is essentially a condenser microphone and an audio interface built into one. Of course, this Scarlett 2i only has one headphone jack, meaning you can only plug in one headphone. What you could do is you could buy a splitter, which is a cable that you could split into 2 different headphone cables, and you could just plug in 2 headphones. Or if you want something a little more professional that doesn't degrade any audio quality, you could get a headphone amp. This is a Samson QH4. It's a 4-channel headphone amp, meaning it will power 4 separate headphones with the same signal, and you can plug in an aux cable or left and right TRS cables, and that will feed all 4 headphones the same signal. When it comes to headphones, you want something that's closed back, something that doesn't have bleed. So these Pro M50s are actually a really good choice because of the sealing that you get around the rubber. It completely seals your ears. It doesn't allow any bleeding to come out of the headphones into the microphone.
Gotcha.
And that's something you don't want.
Now, we're talking about headphones, but another listen back device that you can use is speakers. Do you advise using speakers when you're recording a podcast?
When you're actually recording, I would advise not to. And the reason is what we call a feedback loop. What would happen is if you were to record into the microphone and the signal will go into your computer and then come back out on your speakers as you're listening to it, that signal coming out of the speakers could actually get back into the microphone and cause a feedback loop.
That's like that high pitch.
It's that really, really high screech that you hear at really bad karaoke bars. Yeah, you don't want that, especially in a podcast recording.
Yeah.
So I would actually advise, if you have speakers, just turning down the speakers or turning them off as you're recording and only listening to them once you've finished your recording and you're not actually recording anymore, you're just doing the editing. We're actually running 2 RCM Pro condenser microphones because we're in a controlled environment, and we're actually running them on the DMS-40 microphone boom arms. They're very sturdy, they move, and they stay wherever you put them. So you would plug in your condenser microphones into an audio interface, Focusrite, for example. You plug it into the inputs. You would turn on the 48 volts of phantom power because these are condenser microphones. You would adjust the gain knob, which is essentially the volume of the microphone, and you want to adjust it to a healthy level so that it doesn't clip. And then in your digital audio workstation, which is a software used to record audio, you want to go to the preferences, set the audio preferences to make sure that the input and output device is your interface of choice, and then create tracks within that session, record enable, make sure you're getting signal into those tracks from your microphones, hit the record button, hit play, and then you've got signal. You're recording.
Awesome. So that concludes this episode of Rockville University. If you liked what you saw in this video, leave a like and a comment in the comment section below, and let us know in the comments what you want to hear next from us or what you want to learn from Rockville University. We're going to be running this series for a while, so we're really excited for you to stay tuned with us. As always, guys, I'm Mike from Rockville. I'll see you next time.